You just have to be willing to put yourself out there. And once you do, the magic will begin to happen. I'm happy to use my life as an example so that others can learn. You may have to let some things go before you become successful. Success looks different on everybody, and so does the process. Some of you want success but don't want to let go of the exact thing that's in your way of obtaining success. You can't have it both ways. Welcome to Living Your Truth with Tavares. Wow, thank you. I am living in my blessing. Thank you so much. This is great. Wow. Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. How y'all doing? I'm him. What's up? What's up? Happy to be back again for another great episode. Episode 7, Out to Lunch Mentally, when your mind isn't fully present. We've all been there, right? We've been there. We know what this is like. I appreciate y'all being back. Let's get it. Being out to lunch mentally. Now, we've all been in meetings. You may have been hanging out with friends, and all of a sudden your mind just drifts. Your body is there, but your mind is elsewhere. So today we're talking about something that I think almost everyone experiences at some point in life, but very few people talk about openly. I mean, who really wants to talk about being out to lunch, being distracted, not being focused, right? You know what I mean? You're physically present, but mentally you're somewhere else. You're sitting in a meeting, like I said before. Maybe you are out to dinner with friends. Your mind is replaying an argument. Maybe your mind is on tomorrow, right? Maybe you're driving down the street, right? And suddenly you realize you don't remember the last 5 miles. Ever done that? I've done that. Let me tell you something. Only to look up and be like, hold up, let me pull over. And chances are, it's because I have so many things on my mind, perhaps. Maybe you've been thinking about some things, right? I know we all know how that can be, right? You look present, but internally, you're completely checked out. So today I want to explore that. I want to explore what happens when our minds become overloaded, right? And I also want to talk about when they become distracted, exhausted, right? Or disconnected from the present moment. We've all had conversations with our friends, and all of a sudden, your friend's like, right? And you're like, huh? Like a deer in headlights, like you don't even know what she just said or what he just said. Because if we're not careful, we can spend years physically showing up while mentally being absent from our own lives. And that, as you know, is no fun. Unless that's what you're looking to do. Maybe you're looking to be absent from your life. I don't know. I think of the greatest challenges of modern life is attention. That's one of the greatest challenges of our modern time. Not information, not opportunity, attention. Because attention now, in my opinion, is like that new commodity, right? It's like, it's new money. Because with attention, you can do damn near anything, especially if you can hold people's attention, right? Right. We live in a world where everybody wants access to our minds, right? Everybody wants to know what you're doing, how you're doing it. These websites, these companies, they're always building profiles, right? Right. People often have that debate. Are they listening? Let me tell you something. They're listening. Social media, news, emails, right? Text messages, work demands, right? Your friends have demands, right? Family responsibilities, financial concerns, all of these things distract us. All of these things are capable of having us out to lunch. And eventually the brain reaches a point where it says, enough. Brain checks out. Brain's not having it. Right? Sometimes when people are mentally out to lunch, they're not lazy. They're preoccupied. They're overloaded. They're exhausted. That's what's going on, right? You know, you've had friends like that, right? You, right? Everybody has, right? Overloaded, exhausted. They're carrying more than anyone realizes. And because our friends are our friends, we are more willing to put on a mask in order to block and hide that, right? The scary part is that mentally, we're disconnected. And that happens gradually throughout the day because, again, we're overloaded, we're exhausted. And look, some of us, we're just trying to get through the day. We're just trying to get through the day, all right? You don't wake up one day and decide to become disconnected. That happens over time. It happens just because, look, if you're not organized, this is going to definitely play into that. Right? You don't wake up one day and just decide, I'm going to become disconnected. It happens little by little, one distraction at a time, one stressor at a time, and one unresolved issue at a time. Until eventually you're surviving life instead of experiencing it. And I've been there too. A lot of us have been there. I'm going to pay some bills. Welcome back to another great episode of Living Your Truth with Tavares. We are here. We are locked in. We are having fun. And we will be right back. For your next event, be sure to contact tagmgmt.net for photography, videography, photo booth, or drone activations. Email us info@tagmgmt.net. Welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about being out to lunch mentally. Thank you all again for being here. Thank you for making time to be here too. Scientific fun fact number 1. Researchers estimate that the average human mind wanders nearly 47% of the time during waking hours. Think about that. Almost half of our lives may be spent thinking about something other than what we're currently doing. What's even more interesting is that studies found people were generally less happy when their minds wandered compared to when they were fully engaged in the present moment. Now that's interesting. But I think when it comes to the mind wandering, it also speaks to the mind relaxing. Presence contributes significantly to well-being. That's because the present is all that really matters, right? We often think about the future, right? And then, of course, we fantasize about the past, right? Right. Okay, so it's no wonder why we check out mentally as often as we do. Let's talk about why this happens. Sometimes mental disconnection comes from stress. And I know you feel me on that. We all feel each other on that, right? All of us feel each other on that. Sometimes mental disconnection comes from stress, and we know how stress can bog us down. When life becomes overwhelming, the mind often shifts into survival mode. I grew up in survival mode, so I know what that's like, having the mind shift into these spaces because it knows that you're looking to survive. Absolutely. Instead of focusing on the present, it starts scanning for problems, right? Why is that? As I told you before, the brain is not your friend. It's there to help you survive. And that's why it's scanning for problems. It starts predicting threats. It starts replaying mistakes. Absolutely. And that happens through what's called the RAS, reticular activation system. This is when the brain, if we say something ill about ourselves, like I suck playing basketball, the brain then goes and finds a memory to basically vouch for the way that you're talking to yourself. It'll find a memory that speaks to you sucking at playing basketball. You can fact check that. All right, let's keep this going. Again, the brain will start to predict threats. It'll start replaying mistakes. It starts worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. You ever do that before? Ever think about something so much and then you thought it into existence? That's because your thoughts have power. Our words have power. They have energy, right? They have meaning. All right, far beyond just the letters that spell the words that we speak. Okay. Sometimes mental absence comes from unresolved emotional pain. Hello. Can we talk about emotional pain, everybody? Some of y'all walking around with a whole lot of pain on you right now, and you playing with it. Let's stop doing that, man. Resolve that. You may be carrying grief. A lot of us be carrying grief. And the thing is, people grieve over so many things. The loss of a loved one, the loss of a relationship, the loss of a job, the loss of money. Oh yeah, people grieve over money, let me tell you. Disappointment, regret, right? Heartbreak, anxiety, absolutely. And even when you're physically present, part of your mind remains occupied by those experiences. Sometimes we disconnect because we're exhausted, not physically, emotionally. Decision fatigue, people fatigue, right? Work fatigue, life fatigue. Ever had someone tell you my social battery is low? Ooh, heaven forbid that. And eventually the mind starts running on autopilot. You may still function, but you're no longer fully engaged. I'm going to pay some bills. We're going to be right back. And you are listening to Living Your Truth with Tavares. Learn and increase your health score today by calling 707-767-3233 or emailing info@thebodysynthesis.com. Energy in, energy out. thebodysynthesis.com. Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. Scientific fun fact number 2. Research on chronic stress shows that elevated stress hormones can impair attention, memory, concentration, and decision making. In simple terms, stress doesn't just affect how you feel. It affects how you think. The more overwhelmed we become, the harder it is mentally to stay present. That's why managing stress isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. A lot of people think, the wellness industry is just about, just fitness and, the regular things, right? But if you give wellness a chance, you'll see that it's everything in your life. It's everything that you're affiliated and associated with, and vice versa. That to me is what builds our life of wellness. It's hard to find peace in a chaotic environment. So we have to show up and show out and be intentional about cultivating and curating said space. Okay? It's a necessity to check in on yourself these days. The cost of mental absence is just out of this world, okay? Because being mentally checked out affects every aspect of your life, every area. Relationships suffer. You hear people just don't listen. Like they hear you, but they're not really listening to you, and you want them to be engaged, but they're just not. Okay? You spend time together, but you don't connect. Opportunities get missed because your attention is divided. Joy gets overlooked because you're always focused on the next problem. Even personal growth slows down because growth requires what? Awareness. And awareness requires what? Presence. Come on, man. One of the saddest realities is that many people miss beautiful moments because they're mentally living somewhere else. I've been there, man. I've been on road trips and just completely checked out, missing just beautiful, just sunsets or just picture opportunities of a sunset, right? Right. Being worried about tomorrow, obsessing about yesterday, right? And completely missing today. Completely missing today because I'm worried about tomorrow or yesterday. Ain't that something? But it's so true. Life happens in the present, not in yesterday, not in tomorrow, right now. That's when it happens, okay? Another fun fact. Studies involving mindfulness practices have found improvements in attention span, emotional regulation, working memory, and stress reduction. Brain imaging research suggests that mindfulness can strengthen areas of the brain associated with focus and self-awareness. In other words, the ability to stay present can be trained. Presence is a skill. And like any skill, it improves with practice. I'm gonna pay some bills. I'm gonna be right back. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. You deserve to drink the best. Your destination, lifequenchers.com. Get that Kangen machine. Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. How y'all doing? How to know if you're out to lunch mentally? Well, that's easy. You constantly replay the last conversation. If that's all you keep hearing, you've been out to lunch, okay? You keep reliving things you should have said. Reliving things you should have said. Sound familiar? Things you wish had happened differently. This is how we know we're out to lunch, because we are ruminating over things like this. Once it's done, it's done. Let's check the box and move on. You're always focused on future problems. That's another way to know that you're out to lunch. Even during good moments, your mind jumps ahead to potential challenges. You may struggle to fully listen. People talk, but you're already thinking about your response. If you're already thinking about your response and someone's talking, you're not really fully engaged. Okay. You feel disconnected from your own life. Days blend together. I know a lot about that. A lot of us do. Shoot. Weeks pass quickly. Sounds like every day right now. You feel like you're operating on autopilot. A lot of us do. I'm very sure of it. And this is why taking that time to make time is so crucial. That 5 minutes of peace, man, I'm going to tell you, will make the greatest difference. Please try it if you have not. Please. Okay. Challenge yourself with just sitting still for 5 minutes. No phone, no TV, no radio, no nothing, no social media, no nothing. You and the chair. That's it. Because you rarely experience peace anyway. So let's do more to be intentional, to curate and cultivate a peaceful environment, y'all. I like the way that sounds. Your mind is always busy, always processing, always worrying, always running. If any of these sound familiar, you are not alone. Let me tell you, there are many of us, many people are carrying more mental weight than they realize. And that's because people aren't looking to talk these days. Social media has really divided us and brought us together. It's kind of weird how that happens. And so do all you can to be very intentional about carving out that time for yourself. I'm letting y'all know it's going to really make the world a difference. I meditate every morning. I get up at 3:45. I'm in the gym by 4:45. And that hour that I have getting ready, I spend the majority of it laying still on my back in the dark. I really do. It is a great way for me to focus up and lock in before I go to the gym. So if you want to try it, please try it. All right. Practical ways to return to the present. I'm going to tell you right now, I just mentioned that one. Another one, remaining steadfast. Just stop what you're doing. Boom. That's a great way to get present right there. And slow down. Everything doesn't require immediate action. Sometimes clarity comes from creating space. That's right. Practice intentional breathing. Your breath is one of the fastest ways to reconnect your mind and your body. No doubt. I support that 1,000,000%. No, scratch that. 1,000,000,000% would it be. Let's get it. Your breath is one of the fastest ways to reconnect. Remember that, y'all. A few deep breaths can interrupt mental overload anytime or keep the body moving. I'm a big advocate for that. When I start to feel stressed, I start moving. Do a sit-up, take a walk, something to just break up the cortisol spike that I know is happening in my body, okay? It's also important to have limit information overload, right? Limit the information that you're taking in. Nothing wrong with that. Not every notification deserves your attention. Protect your mental bandwidth. Remember earlier I said social battery? Have real conversations with yourself or with your family or friends. Human connection, that grounds us. Talk honestly with people you trust. Create moments of stillness. I mentioned this earlier. Love that one right there. Walk without your phone. A lot of us got these phones on us all day, every day. Let's put the phone down, slowly back away, and take a walk outdoors. All right. Sit quietly, maybe pray, right? Journal, reflect, give your mind room to breathe. Focus on what you can control. A lot of mental exhaustion comes from trying to control things beyond our influence. Bring your attention back to what you can actually do today. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. How y'all doing? Today we've been talking about being out to lunch mentally. Okay? And now comes a time where I want to speak to that individual who's been carrying a lot on them lately. Maybe you've been under pressure. Maybe you've been trying to hold everything together. Maybe you're functioning well on the outside while struggling internally. I want you to consider something. You don't have to carry every thought that enters your mind. You don't have to solve every problem today. You don't have to live 6 months into the future. You are allowed to be here, right now, in this moment. Because this moment is where your life is happening. Not someday, today. As we close out today's episode, I want to leave you all with this. Your attention is one of the most valuable resources you possess. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Don't allow constant distraction to steal your presence. Don't allow stress to rob you of today's opportunities. Don't allow yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's fears to keep you from experiencing this moment. Come back to yourself. Come back to the present. Come back to your life. Because life isn't happening somewhere else. It's happening right now. I want to thank everybody who continues to show up and show out and show support for Living Your Truth with Tavares podcast. I really do. 11 seasons. Yo, man, that's a big deal. And if you want to get a hold of us or send me an email, you can email us at livingyourtruthpodcast@gmail.com, traditional spelling. If you want to follow us along on socials, you can hit us up on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Living Your Truth Podcast. I thank everybody. I thank my team here at Living Your Truth Podcast. I thank everyone who is looking to grow more, anyone who's, challenging themselves to be better, because I know what that's like. And so what I'll say is this: keep going, keep going, keep going. It gets better. Trust and believe and claim your victory. It gets better. And until the next time, love yourself, love each other, and live your truth. I'll talk to you soon. On the next Living Your Truth with Tavares, showing up for you, the most important commitment you'll ever make. Showing up for yourself, not showing up for your boss, not showing up for your family, not showing up for your friends, not showing up for social media. Showing up for you on the next Living Your Truth with Tavares.